Tomorrow, totals of 5 to 6 inches of rain over portions of the Blue Ridge Mountains, potentially the Shenandoah Valley and out into West Virginia. So some flooding here in the district with an inch or two plus, and then really some flooding, some bigger flooding potentially heading to western areas of Virginia, West Virginia, and western Maryland as well. So move those plans indoors, download our WUSA9 app. Have that on your phone, on your device, have that ready to go because of the potential. Again, if you're going to be on the go and you get hit with one of these flooding events, these flooding rains, or potentially even an isolated tornado in the area, you're going to want to stay ahead of that, and you're going to want to have that right on your phone or your device. So make sure that is downloaded and ready to go. And of course, that's location based. So wherever you are, if you have an alert for your area, it's going to pull it right up onto your phone and give you a blast, let you know what's going on. So for today, showers and thunderstorms developing. We've already seen some showers in the past 12 to even 24 hours yesterday, but they will gradually get heavier and more widespread. So the morning commute has generally been pretty wet. It looks like our afternoon commute and evening commute will also be quite wet, and especially overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, and maybe even through about midday tomorrow. This is where we could see some of the heaviest rain falling. It could be an inch to 2 to 3 to 4, maybe even locally 5 to 6 inch amounts. Now for tomorrow, rain, showers, and thunderstorms, maybe some strong ones too. There could even be some isolated severe weather. Potentially could even have not only flooding, especially during the morning and midday, but also that potential of some severe storms, which when we're talking severe storms with these types of scenarios, when you're along into the east of a tropical track of a remnant or a tropical depression or tropical storm hurricane, that's where you had the best risk of not only flooding rain, but also the potential of spin up tornadoes. So that'll be possible during the morning and into the midday hours from west to east. The heaviest rain should fall right along the 81 corridor, and then this all should be ending as we head towards a PM commute. So potentially still could be wet on the ground during the PM commute, but I think most of the active falling rain should be kind of wrapping up by then. And beyond this, we're going to drag in some beautiful air out of Canada. I mean, it's still going to be very warm, but just a great looking day actually. Saturday, I think your plans are going to be safe outdoors. We're going to have lower humidity. That's going to go for Sunday as well. Temperatures in the 80s. And really the biggest threat coming out of this, again, is going to be today into tonight and tomorrow morning through about lunchtime. So Doppler radar right now showing us a whole bunch of rain that's off to the north of the district, around 270, Frederick, Leesburg, Winchester, and north. This line here is a kind of demarcation, if you will, between the scattered showers and the more widespread heavy rain. We're still getting hit pretty hard right around Frederick, back up to Hagerstown, where 70 and 270 meet, up to Myersville, and as you head into Washington County and eventually into western Maryland. Then there's another round of more significant rain that's starting to move in down towards the lower Delmarva and south of Leonardtown. This is kind of the beginning of the main batch of rain that is with Debby, and this is going to arc its way back to the north and the northwest, and you can actually see it here on our satellite and radar. It's kind of getting diminished a little bit as it moves into southern Maryland, but nonetheless, it is this initial batch that could get here into this afternoon for the district and surrounding areas for the PM commute. And then down south of that, there's kind of the core of all of this. Look at all of these warnings, flood warnings. There have been some tornado warnings. Those have actually all expired at this point, but there have been tornado warnings east of Raleigh all the way down to about New Bern in North Carolina. This big kind of pinwheeling and spinning circulation here right around Florence in South Carolina. This is what is the circulation of Debby that continues to make its move inland and inland bound after making a landfall at about 2 a.m. at Bulls Bay in South Carolina, not too far from Charleston. And again, this is the core of the system that's going to move especially to areas west of the district tonight. I'm going to time everything out for you coming up in a couple of minutes on the Futurecast, so you want to stick around for that. But speaking of the motion of the storm, the roadways, the areas that are getting rain, Mary Marshall has been on the roads this morning in Eco 9, and I wanted to toss it out to her to get kind of a live look as to what's going on. How are those roads right now? I know that they've been rain-soaked and we've had numerous accidents already.
Yeah, Jonathan, not the best for commuting this morning. Now, we're in the Aspen Hill area right now. This area, we were driving through, there was some rain, and in the last minute or so, we've gotten a break from the steady showers here, but those roads are still very damp. If you are along 270, especially if you're along the local lanes there is water starting to collect a little bit on the side. It's not flooded per se, but you'll hear it getting under your wheel wells. We experienced that when we were on 270. I was talking to Mario, our photojournalist. I was like, Mario, do you hear that water? He's like, yeah, it's getting under the tires. So bear in mind that you're not going to have the best traction when you're out and about and driving. And this morning, even though we've had some pockets of light to moderate rain, there is still yet heavier rain to come. We're going to be dealing with tropical moisture. So do be prepared for really intense downpours. Now you can see that there's already been some of these heavier downpours out here now. So we're along 97 right now, just at Glen Allen Avenue, and we're passing, you can see just a little bit of ponding there on the roads, but we do anticipate, obviously, throughout the day for this activity to continue to pick up and road conditions to deteriorate. Another thing to keep in mind is that visibility is reduced. I don't know if you can see on that vehicle that just passed up in front of us, there's a little bit of backsplash there. On the freeway, it's even worse. Lots of cars going fast. You cannot see very much in front of you. Visibility is actually decent here. We were in some other pockets earlier. That rain has since subsided in those areas, but we were in some other pockets earlier where I could barely see a block or two ahead. Normal visibility is about 10 miles ahead of you. So bear in mind that if you are going to be driving out later on today, that your visibility will be reduced at times. That water is going to be coming down in buckets on your windshield. You'll be like, whoa, yeah, tropical moisture, whole different kind of animal when it comes to rain and it falling down. So do be prepared for that. Again, you heard Jonathan talk about this earlier. Just want to re-emphasize, you don't want to drive across a flooded road. And one of the reasons why is that you really can't estimate how deep that water is. It may look shallow. It may look like it's not that big of a deal. But actually, unless you or somebody, a professional, goes out and actually measures, you really don't know. And that's how a lot of people get caught off guard by driving over the water. Then all of a sudden they're swept away, underestimating the water. I will say this, having grown up in New Orleans, you heard Jonathan earlier talking about his 22 years of meteorological experience. Some of that came from New Orleans. We've been in Gulf states. The one thing we don't play with is water. Yes, I know winds get people's attention, but it's water. Don't play with water because it's powerful and it can really do a lot of damage. So do be careful with that when you're out and about. And I'm certainly not trying to preach to anybody because this is DC. Everybody's smart here in all the markets I've worked in. I think people here have the most degrees of any market I've ever worked in. So people here are obviously very smart people. Just want to help everybody to keep that in mind to stay safe when it comes to that. So we're stopped here now at Randolph Road. You can see those earlier rains have subsided just a bit. It's down to maybe a sprinkle or a drizzle now here, but just moments ago we did have some areas of heavy rain, and that's why you're noticing these wet roads. But you can still get out and drive them right now. Looks okay. Just keep in mind on the freeways, it is going to be a lot worse in terms of that backsplash, especially when you get around those 18-wheelers and the bigger trucks, which we appreciate them because they're bringing all of our goods to where they need to go, but it will make for more hazardous driving conditions. I'll send things back now to Jonathan, who has a look at Futurecast and more, and even some, Jonathan, the potential for some severe weather to work its way in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mary. And yes, we do get some of the road spray from some of those trucks, but of course they are bringing our supplies that we need, in fact, to get ready for the approach and the passage of Debby, including some of the sealants that you may need for solidifying the cracks on your foundations, on your roofs, that type of thing. Some of the things that you may need to clear out drainage culverts and to secure objects outside, because of course that's something you should be doing. If it's not raining at your house, it's probably time to make sure you kind of wrap all that stuff up so you don't end up with property damage or neighborhood damage. So again, for Thursday into Friday, we are under the weather impact alert, 1 to 4+ inches of rain. There could be some flooding. Move those plans indoors. Download our WUSA9 app. Have that on your phone at the ready. That will have you ready to go for, if a storm is coming at your neighborhood, it's going to let you know. You turn on your location-based services and your alerts, and any warnings, watches that come out, going to go right to your phone and keep you safe. You can also zoom in nicely on the radar so you can see exactly where any of the rain is and is going. So for today, your rundown once again, showers and storms developing, becoming more widespread during the afternoon and evening. The heaviest rain is going to fall at night and west of D.C. So a good time to have your WUSA9 app on and up and ready to go if we do have some flood alerts. That's going to be for tonight, 10 p.m. Through 10 a.m. Friday morning. Then on Friday, rain, showers, thunderstorms in the morning. Some of those could be strong, maybe even severe. Could even have some flooding, especially along and to the west of I-81, right along that I-81 corridor, as close to places like potentially western Loudoun County as well as Frederick County. Again, the storms could be severe with the potential of some even spin-up tornadoes along the 95 corridor, so we'll be tracking that very closely. And then beyond that, Saturday is a great day. Get your outdoor plans ready. They should be safe. Low humidity returning on the backside of this, so that's kind of the nice byproduct of Debby. Going to bring in some much more comfortable, drier air, getting rid of all those heat wave conditions for us. But for now, around Urbana, Damascus, still some pretty good rain coming down around Newmarket as well, near where Miri was traveling. A little bit quieter here, heading down toward Prince George's County, Charles County, and most of Montgomery County. There are a few showers from the district and points westbound down 66 and right near Aldi, but you really have to get down to the south. Once again, there's a more major band of rain that's moving in La Plata southbound. Notice here Leonardtown to Solomon's Island, and then the lower portion of the eastern shore, Scotland Beach, Reedville, Tappahannock, Northern Neck. You're starting to get hit with some of those more tropical type downpours, and that is what's going to move in for us here in the district as we head towards the afternoon commute. You'll see here the green boxes. These are the flash flood warnings that continue for Raleigh all the way down to Wilmington, back to Charlotte. And look, once again, this is a side of the storm that we're most concerned about impacting us here in the district and surrounding areas. It's got tornado warnings with it. Once again, right here near the Raleigh area, some of these feeder bands have got a lot of what we call wind shear or spin that comes in with them. And that's the potential around here as we head into tomorrow morning and tomorrow early afternoon. That's what I think is going to be our biggest threat in the district in points east. Points west, it's the potential of flooding. We do have a flood watch in effect through 8 p.m. on Friday. On top of that, coastal flooding could be a concern with the winds coming in out of the east for a time. So the usual suspects like Anne Arundel County, Annapolis, maybe even Alexandria, where we have sandbagging going on right now. Don't have an advisory yet, but that may be issued soon. Charles County, northern neck of Virginia, lower eastern shore. Again, that's where we have coastal flood advisories already posted. Now the winds too, after getting a solid 1 to 3+, maybe 4, 5, 6 inches of rain out to the west, we could see winds increasing tonight into tomorrow morning up to about 40 miles an hour potentially, at least in gusts, especially from the core of the storm over West Virginia, Western Virginia to points east. And what that could do is actually bring down some limbs and perhaps even whole trees. So Tropical Storm Debby once again swirling around Charleston, currently just inland of Charleston in North Carolina. That is going to make the beeline north and then eventually northeast. And our biggest concern is, again, tomorrow morning especially, we are right to the east of that center of circulation. So for late today into tonight, really more so late, I'd say tonight, right around evening and shortly thereafter, That severe weather risk moves in south and west first with that isolated risk of tornadoes, a 1 in 5 risk of severe weather. And then from the district eastbound, that's a 1 in 5 risk of severe weather that could be coming our way for tomorrow, especially again, morning, midday. 76 degrees right now, winds out of the east-northeast at about 10 miles an hour. You see the flag on our Willard cam is kind of shrugging around a little bit, but as we head into tomorrow again, it will get worse. Let's take a look at the Debby impacts once again for today into tomorrow. Breaking it out of our 7-day forecast on the Futurecast by about 10 a.m. Thursday, so that's 10 a.m. this morning. The rain moving in from the south, Alexandria southbound, worst through about lunchtime. Then everybody's getting it by about 4 p.m., 5:45 west of the district. And look at that heavy stuff, the reds, the yellows, the oranges continuing to fall at a pretty good clip here tonight into tomorrow morning. The reds, yellows, oranges, that's the core of our storm system. And then that feeder band I was talking about glides eastbound. There it is at 6:30 around Winchester, Front Royal, Haymarket down to Stafford. Approaching the district at about 8:15, Haymarket, Manassas, and then crossing the district through about 10:15 a.m. That's that main time for the thrust of some of the isolated severe weather. That then should move east by about lunchtime and into early tomorrow afternoon. Look at that, the rain beginning to come to an end. And actually, it looks like as we head through Saturday, Sunday, much better weather. But we got to get there first, and we could see a ½ inch to 1.5 inches of rain here in the district, points east. But get out toward Leesburg, Culpeper, those flood watch areas, that's where we could see up to 3 to 5+ inches of rain. So have your flood preparedness plans ready to go in those areas and severe weather plans along and east of the 95 corridor for tomorrow morning. Could be a very harrowing set of commutes coming tonight, tomorrow morning, and potentially even into Friday afternoon before it all clears out. And we're going to have team coverage throughout, keeping you ahead of the storm. We're going to wrap things up from here in the WUSA9 studios.